Yo, what up everyone? This is the first C1X game review. And let me just say, first and foremost, this is just one gamer's opinion. This is my experience, my thoughts, and my feedback. Let's get to it. In this video, I'm going to cover Assassin's Creed Mirage. Let's start off with the storyline. I like the concept to the story, a thief that turned into an assassin. But the way they delivered this, it didn't meet or surpass my expectations. I felt that build up in the trailers and the opening scene in the game, those were great. I felt like they were going to take you through this great experience in Baghdad, and especially bringing back the roots. But playing through it, I felt it just went down and plateaued. I wish they would have brought us into Basim's life as a thief more in the beginning. I thought they transitioned into becoming an assassin quickly. Also, in my expectations, I thought we were going to be able to interact with the genie instead of it just being a cutscene haunting Basim. I thought that would have been a great addition to the game. At the end of the story, it was a small surprise to the plot, but I just think because they didn't hold that build up, for me it just felt it wasn't a great experience. It's like in a movie when the director and the actors, they bring the emotion of the character to you, or they make you feel you're a part of the character, you're a part of the story. And I thought that's what I was going to experience in this, but I didn't. It was a short story, which I'm okay with, but they just should have packed a punch with it. I think the few times I felt more of an assassin was when assassinating the Order members. I like the cinematic scenes of each Order member. I liked how they gave you options for you to choose on how you wanted to approach the mission. I also enjoyed using the faction tokens. You know, you could pay off a scholar, you could pay off a merchant, you could pay off a mercenary, and you could blend in. You could distract the guards with music, or you could just hire mercenaries to go full force and start attacking the guards. But in these missions, I felt you could use your overall skill. Let's move on to the side quests. We'll start off with the historical sites. Nothing much to grab here. I do like how Assassin's Creed, they want to educate you on the history of the different eras they take you through and seeing the different types of things in the culture. Just a small suggestion. Maybe add a small video or a small mini game. I think that would intrigue the player to collect these more and not just skip over a text. You know, we're gamers, we like visuals. Didwish's artifacts. This was a simple side quest I felt they could have done better. One of my first thoughts is they could have introduced this while Basim was just a thief in the beginning. Part of building up that concept in the story. And I don't think they should have left this challenge just pickpocketing near a guard. I would have loved the small backstory. Who we're stealing from, why we're stealing, what we're stealing. Just some context for the mission. Mysterious Shards was somewhat similar to this quest, except the guards were aware when you got close and you could assassinate the shard holder. This had a tiny backstory, them being a part of the Order. But after you collected all the shards and unlocked the gear, I expected it to be a scene or an addition just of some sort that connected to the main plot. And it wasn't. It was just, you know, you unlocked the gear. The lost books and gear chests were okay. They had obstacles and challenges to collecting them. I did like how some areas required a specific key to specific doors. I also like how there were letters that gave you clues to where the key might be, just like the enigmas. The enigmas were good side quests. I always like to challenge myself and figure things out on my own, and this side quest gave you that. You would find a letter, read it, and find the clues on where the treasure may be. They didn't hint anything for you except the clues in the letter. Even when you were close to the treasure, if you try to use Enkidu, he wouldn't point it out, which I liked. The only indicator they gave you that you were near the treasure was a shining light. Tales of Baghdad. I always like completing these types of quests because they got great small stories and entice you to play them besides the main missions. I know AC Odyssey had a bunch, and I just wish they would have put a little bit more in this one. Let's move on to the contracts. I like the contracts. I felt they had everything needed for them. Small backstory, an objective, and a bonus challenge, you know, such as don't be detected, do not kill anyone, which was great. I really liked what they stood for, and that's people asking help from the hidden ones. It emphasizes more purpose for the assassins. My only thought was when you failed at the bonus challenge, they could have enabled to retry it again. Other than that, have no issues. The skills to me weren't so great. I felt in some they were more capacity upgrades, and others just unnecessary skills to unlock. I understand Enkidu's skills, unlocking those, him eyeing treasure chests, keys, his perception increases, following the track to the guards. I don't think we should be unlocking a counter roll when fighting, especially that being second to the last skill. Kickback and breakfall, these were in the first and second skills to unlock, which doesn't make it worse, but again, just basic mechanics I don't think we should be unlocking. Another one was collecting your knives. Again, I just didn't think it was something to unlock, something that was creative. There's a few other skills I want to touch on, but I'll do that when discussing assassinations. The tools were way better than the skills. They made a lot more sense and felt creative, such as a smoke bomb could have upgraded it to being poison or healing smoke. The blow dart had an upgrade that would let off a cloud and will put 2 guards asleep. The one I really liked was a throwing knife, corroding the body, and I liked the sand effect. Very useful when you want to stay stealthy in missions, or don't be alerting the guards. The traps were nice. I didn't use those as much, but again, still creative. Now the combat, I felt was very poor. It did not excite me one bit. When the combat started, I just didn't want to engage. Just wanted to run. Didn't have any style to it. Felt it was just one move, and that was just spinning around your sword. This was very disappointing to me, and that's because in the roots of this franchise, the very first Assassin's Creed, it wasn't just about jumping off ledges or the assassinations. It was also the combat. The combat in the first AC felt realistic. Felt like you were in there. And the finishers were great too. In this game, not so much. Bouncing off the assassinations, at times when trying to perform a hidden assassination, there would be either an execution that didn't make sense or just fall short. Another thing is, there wasn't any double assassinations, where you could have assassinated 2 guards at once. They did add a skill where you could perform an air assassination or any assassination and throw a knife to assassinate another guard, which I did like. I also like the skill where they slow down time midair and you could throw a knife. But it was very tempting when you saw 2 guards side by side and weren't able to perform a double assassination. And as the finishers, again, just weren't the best I've seen in this franchise. I like the assassination focus. I like how they added the animus effects while performing it. I believe it was in AC Brotherhood or in one of the Ezio collections. I felt everything was in sync. The movement, the assassinations, the finishers. Like you could run through an army easy with style and have fun. I just didn't feel that with this one. The movement, I felt slow. I felt I was running through mud at times. There was one contract where the bonus challenge was to be first in the race, and he beat me by just running on the ground. And running to do an assassination just didn't have that flair. like others did. Let's talk about the attire. There wasn't a lot of outfits to unlock, but if you included the costumes, it was fair. I think some of the costumes could have been an outfit or at least having a perk, such as the King of Thieves or Treasure Hunter costumes. I think it would have been great when wearing the King of Thieves costume, you get a guaranteed grab from pickpocketing instead of giving the option to disable it in the settings. Or the Treasure Hunter costume could have the ability to highlight clues in letters or a pathway to the treasure. Those are just some of my ideas. I didn't feel any enthusiasm like I should have felt to complete the side quest to unlock these, or even with the schematics. I felt some of the abilities and the outfits actually could have been added as skills. Talisman was an okay accessory. I think could have added ability or a perk. And I'm not saying all of these outfits and costumes and talismans needed a perk or ability, but at least the ones that made sense. Like the Master Assassin. Let's actually touch on the hidden ones rank quickly. I like the concept of this, but I felt like they didn't do much here. It just felt useless. When I ranked up to the Master Assassin, I didn't feel like a Master Assassin. I didn't feel like I achieved anything. I unlocked the costume, but I believe they could have been more cohesive with the ranks and the story. Now going back to the talisman and outfit abilities, if any of them should have had it, it should have been the Master Assassin. But they only made it to a costume. Now I could understand the Valhalla and the Altair costumes that you could get because it's paying homage to the other games. Or even the disguises, which I think they only put in 2 missions. I like the disguises. I felt they were considered costumes. I actually wish they would have added more missions or options for these disguises. But again, I feel like these are just few of the things that didn't make the game cohesive as it should have been. Not much to add on the weapons, but did just want to touch on them a bit. There was just 2, a sword and a dagger. Similar to the outfits, it had upgrades, but again, the combat was just poor. The map was small, which I'm okay with, but like I said with the story, if it's gonna be short, bring something great to the table. I really wish I would have had fun going through Baghdad, because I like going through these different eras in this franchise, but it just wasn't as fun and epic as I wanted it to be. My overall rating for this game is a 6.5 out of 10. I almost gave it a 7, but every time I would go back to play it, I would just get reminded of that build-up just failing. I don't think there is an RPG game like Assassin's Creed, how they go through different eras, you being an assassin, some of those great stories they brought. But I expected more, especially with the return of the rooted gameplay. I know they brought back more stealth, the notoriety, eavesdropping, and a few other things, but they just didn't do it justice. I believe there was a lack of innovation in this one. I know most, if not all, wanted the roots of the game back, but I don't think we wanted this basic of a game. After all the great ones that they made, the actual first Assassin's Creed was better than this one, honestly. I just didn't have a lot of fun. It didn't bring me on an epic adventure. I felt nothing was really in sync like I felt with others, like the Ezio Collection or Odyssey. And I know Odyssey was a different era, a bit of a different gameplay, not a lot of stealth in that one, and the map was massive. But that feeling I got when playing, that one really intrigued me. It made me want to play more, it made me want to complete everything. This one just didn't do it for me. I hope the next one they keep the hooded stealthy roots, but just bring some innovation. Bring something greater to the table. This was my breakdown and rating of Assassin's Creed Mirage. Let me know what y'all rated this game, or if y'all feel any different about it. Again, this is just one gamer's opinion. If you're digging the content, don't forget to give a like and a subscribe. Follow me on X. I'm socially active on there. But until next time, peace.